and I landed on yesterday's cup. Like the green upside down Tupperware bowls at 13.8, 5-putted 2 greens.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to this Golf Trips podcast, where everyday golfers share the stories, budgets, formats, and mistakes, and more, so that you can get ideas and get inspired to make your own memorable, sick golf trip. Real golfers, real budgets, real sick golf trips. I'm 𝐤𝐞𝐿, your host, along with my co-host, Berkeley Hoagland. How's it going, Burke?
What's up, Care? Everything's good, man. I'm excited about the show today, man. I'm excited about our whole podcast. Every single show. Yeah, every single one of them brings a great, unique twist on golf events, tournaments, styles, different people. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I can't wait to talk to my buddy Tony Rudy today, good friend of mine. Actually just got back from a trip last night back east, and I think he's in South Carolina. Maybe we'll have to ask him. But I thought he would be a great addition, a great guest for today's show.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Just last night. That's crazy. So he's still hungover probably, yeah, from it?
Well, you know, Tony's not a big drinker guy, you know what I mean? And so I'm going to kind of be interested to see, you know, did he hang out with the fellas after golf? Because normally, California time, you call him at 7 o'clock, he's down for the count. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Yeah, look forward to hearing his side of things, because that is a little bit more of a different angle than we have been talking more with folks that are either the organizers or really get after it with the drink or whatnot, right?
Yep.
Before we get in, I want to just introduce the sponsor for this week. So this week's sponsor is the Good Dad Society. Burke, did I ever tell you about the Good Dad Society?
You have not. I'd love to hear about it.
The Good Dad Society, it's actually something I put together with my kids. I wanted to teach them a little bit of entrepreneurship, but really the key to it is that it celebrates fatherhood and good fatherhood. So we've got these hats that we produce, and I'm actually going to present to you, Burke, because I know how you are with your son and now the 2 kids that you're raising. I want to present you and induct you into the Good Dad Society. So this is a golf hat that actually looks like this.
I love it. I'm going to sport that. I love it. Fantastic. Love it. Great idea.
So the key with the Good Dad Society, Burke, is that we don't allow you to go on the site, thegooddadssociety.com. We don't allow you to go on the site and purchase one for yourself. Someone has to buy you a hat and present it to you.
I love that. That's a great idea. That's fantastic. I love it, Care. That is amazing. And I'm honored.
So welcome to the Good Dad Society.
Yes.
You've earned it.
I'm honored. Love it. Can't wait to sport it. Amazing.
Welcome, Tony. Looking forward to hearing about your golf trip. I heard you just returned from it yesterday.
Yeah. I've done a couple trips, and the Pinehurst one I've probably done about 12 times. It's something special, yeah.
Tell us about the trip, where you went, how long you went for, how it got organized, who you went with, kind of just the high level. Yeah. We'll kind of dig into things.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I have a friend who was gifted a piece of property in Pinehurst, North Carolina in around 2001. And that came with membership for the property, which I think at the time had 9 courses. And number 2 is obviously the special one where Bryson beat Rory at the U.S. Open, and the history of it is amazing. So we've been going down there since about 2001 on a trip once a year. I did have a period of time for about 10 years where I didn't go, and I got reinvited in about 2016. So we've been going on this yearly trip with 15 other guys and make it a little golf and gambling weekend, and it's a special place.
That's awesome. 9 courses. Is that what it is now?
Now it's 10, and they're building number 11. 10 is remarkable too. They did it. It's really hilly. It's almost on the side of a mountain, and it's really the hilliest. And it's about a 7.5 mile walk to walk the course. And obviously you're taking caddies and that sort of thing, but it's a haul. It's definitely the caddies were telling us stories about how people in the summer particularly get heat stroke while trying to walk that course, and they frequently have to leave or call a cart to come get them. So I think
That would be Berkeley.
Burke would
That's
struggle a
definitely
little
me.
bit, but
Yeah, that's definitely me. I'm out of that course. So Tony, here's my thing. You sent me some pictures when you were golfing, and I didn't see any carts. I noticed that. But why were there so many caddies? It seemed like there was a lot of caddies that were standing around, and you were you taking the picture from the back and taking a picture of the guys in front? Like, you guys got to walk the course with each guy gets their own caddy?
Usually the caddy carries 2 bags and helps 2 players. But we played number 2 where they have the U.S. Open, number 4, number 8, and number 10. And on 3 of those courses, we had caddies. And,
Wow.
Not only for the shot making and all that stuff, they're incredibly helpful, but for the green reading, because those courses there are interesting because they're pretty wide. The fairways are pretty wide open. If you hit it off the fairways, you'll find your ball 99% of the time. There's not a lot of water on those courses. But when you get to the greens, they're basically like upside down Tupperware bowls, with a lot of false fronts. And if you come up short, they roll all the way off the greens. And that's where the pros make their money, is their putting and their short game around those greens. And you really need the help on the reads. And the caddies are remarkable at telling you, even on your approach shots, what side of the hole you want to be on, because it's an easier putt one way or another. And on number 2, I had the opportunity to play it a couple years ago, the week before they had a U.S. amateur event there, and the greens were running at a 13.8 on the step meter. So it was like putting on glass. And I hate to admit that I had 5 putted 2 greens. I don't know how you could hit the putt any lighter and it would go off the green. It's really something else.
I can imagine that. I'll tell you, I have a simulator, and I loaded Augusta, and with the undulations and the speed, you're putting it and it goes off the green. Like, you can't even keep it on. So yeah. I didn't even play it anymore because it's no fun.
Yeah, no, it's and when they just, as these big events come, they get faster and faster, and it gets harder and harder. And I found actually number 4, which is adjacent to number 2, I found those greens to be harder than number 2. Number 2, it was, at least at the speed we were playing this past weekend, they were quick, but they were fair. Number 4, it was same thing. It was just they were super quick, a lot of hidden bends and curves, and very easy to 3-putt. I 3-putted 3 times on number 4, and I didn't 3-putt 1 time on number 2.
So are all the courses walking only, or some of them you can have carts?
No, you can have carts. I think they encourage walking on a few of them, like number 2 and number 10. I know there's carts available, but sometimes I think you need a medical excuse to have them. So, if you're some of the older courses that are there that aren't as long, a lot of the older people play, and you do see carts on those courses. And when we played number 8 on Sunday, we used a cart.
So, but the other thing, Tony, is you are walking with a caddy, so you don't have to carry your own bag. So I would present that would probably be definitely a lot easier. And then also, you really get the feel of being a pro, right? That's the whole thing. You really get the feel of being a pro, walking it, feeling the ground, and them really telling you. Because I always wondered, like, when I'm watching the golf, right? What are these guys talking about? What are they writing down in their little pads? Well, all the time they're writing stuff down. Like, what are they writing down?
I mean, that's really what makes it special. I mean, not only do they do an incredible job about the history, the Hall of Fame of one of the Hall of Fames, I think the USGA's Hall of Fame of Golf is on the premises, and everything there is about the Open and preserving the place as it's been for 100 years, and it's special in that area. I mean, it's just a special place to go to. It's not like someone popped up a new course and overnight it's the sensation. This thing has been a challenge for over 100 years or so, and it remains to this day. And you're right. You're right about the caddies they give you an experience. The stories they tell. I think on number 8, on Pinehurst number 2, you're on the tee box and you're close to the road, and they tell a story about how one day a fan came running over during a practice round waving a piece of paper, and they said, "Fred Couples, Mr. Couples, Mr. Couples," and he turned around thinking this guy wanted an autograph, and he said, "Sure, what is it?" And the guy handed him the piece of paper, and he says, "You've been served by your wife for a divorce." uh, So, the caddies are well versed in these sort of stories, and they really make you feel like you're part of the history on the place. And I forgot to mention too, we also played around at what's called the Cradle, which is their par 3 course, which is more of a drinking game than anything. But the longest hole is 127 yards, and it's 9-hole. It's just a betting and drinking competition, but it's a lot of fun too.
Wow, that's awesome.
So with 10 courses there, that's a huge property. Is it you shuttle all around, or do you have to drive to different places? Like how does that work logistically?
They have, I believe it's 3 hotels within the town. There's one on the property, and then there are 2 in town, and the town's very small. And they do have shuttle buses that will take you around. And so if you stay in one of those properties, it's part of the package. It's guaranteed a tee time. And I'm lucky I actually got to stay at my friend's house, but he's a member. So he also he can bring 4 people under his membership. So 8 of us stayed at the hotel, and 4 of us stayed at his house. And, like it's a very small town. It really has 1 or 2 main streets and a couple of hotels, but it's a town that's there for golf.
Abandoned a little bit, right?
Exactly.
You're there for the golf.
Exactly. If you're in Pinehurst, you're 99% there for the golf. And Bandon was another trip I did, which was amazing. But in terms of the golf, I think Pinehurst is a little fairer because you don't have to deal with the winds as much as you did at Bandon. But if you get an opportunity to do the experience, you definitely should jump at it.
Okay. No, it sounds awesome. And Pinehurst, actually, you painted even a grander picture than I imagined. It sounds amazing. So you've been there. You said your group was going there for 20 years. You've been there going 10 or whatever it is. What's, in your opinion, the ideal trip to Pinehurst if someone was going to organize that? How many days, how many nights would you do? Which courses would you pick, kind of thing?
I got to be honest with you. Maybe it's because I'm getting a little older. Playing 2 a days would be tough, unless you're thrown in the Cradle. But you want to play 2, 4, 10, and 8. Those, to me, are the primary courses that you want to play. Now, they are building a number 11, and it might not be done for 2 more years, but that's coming online as well. But those are the courses you want to play. Those are the ones that I find to be the most enjoyable and most challenging at the same time.
So were you guys playing 2?
Yeah, we played 2. We got there on I got there Wednesday night. Thursday at 1:00, we teed off on number 2, and I don't care what happened after number 2 because I had 3 birdies in a row, and I never have 3 birdies in a row. So to do it at number 2, I was like, I don't care about the rest of the round. I could play like crap. At least I get to brag. I have 3 birdies in a row on number 2. But number 2, like I'm trying to suggest, particularly from the whites, if you're playing from the whites, which is still a challenge, the par 5s are a little shorter. It's definitely a manageable course if you're good around the greens. It's not like some daunting, crazy. Like I played Sawgrass, I've played Pebble, I've played Spyglass. They're all have challenges within themselves. But Pinehurst is very wide. The fairways are pretty wide open. If you're in the woods, you can always find your ball and chip out. The caddies always want to just carry 3 balls in your bag that you won't need. You've got to be really bad to lose 3 balls at Pinehurst. You want to make sure that you can hit off sand. It's a lot of if you're off the fairway before you get to the woods, it's a lot of hard pan and these little shrub bushes.
The fescue.
Fescue. And they planted something like 200,000 bushes before the last U.S. Open on the course. And they're just everywhere. And they keep narrowing some of the holes because the pros just chew them up. But there's one hole in particular, number 4, Pinehurst number 2, which is a tough par 4. I mean, you're on a cliff, you're shooting down the hill. If you hit a great drive, you're probably still 185 to out. The pros they added another tee box for the Open that was 100 yards behind ours. It's like those guys are they're in a different universe in terms of us regular players. But when you see that, and again with the caddies, they'll tell you like, oh, Tiger Woods stayed at this house and Rory hit this shot here, and number 8 on. I'm just referring to Pinehurst number 2 again, where they have the U.S. Open. On number 8, there's par 5 where John Daly carded an 11. He just kept going back and forth over the green because nothing would hold the green. And so that history makes it so special.
So in terms of like, what format do you guys do? Do you guys do a tournament format when you're out there?
We do. We play on number 2. We play low gross and low net. We also had a long drive and a closest to the pin, which I won because I went on my little birdie run. And the funny thing was, truth is, I hit a 9-iron into number 9, and I landed on yesterday's cup.
No.
It was 3 feet away from today's cup, but I wanted to get in the time machine so I could say I had a hole in one. It was great. And if you ever get an opportunity to do it, definitely do it.
So you do low gross, low net, but
Yep.
Do you do anything over the multi days?
Yeah, we had a team format on Friday. It was a 2-man team. And then we did 1 year we did an alternate shot. I think people felt like, we're traveling all this distance. They want to play a full round.
You want to play your ball.
Yeah, you want to play your ball. So we did a team, and then we had an individual match on Saturday. And it's funny, the guy who puts it together used to work for Fannie Mae. So anybody who was associated with him at Fannie or on the Fannies, and anyone not or on the non-Fannies, and that's how they divided up. And the Fannies this year got their butts kicked, but
wow. I
kicked $100 in the pot because of my round on number 2. I got my $100 back.
Nice. So in terms of the players, did you have a big gap from the lowest handicap to the highest handicap? Like, how did you guys figure out?
It's interesting you say that because, we went, I think the guy with the lowest handicap was a 4. There was a 5. I'm playing to an 8. And everybody else was like 12 to 14. But the interesting thing there, and the part of the reason why our team got just demolished was one of the guys who was playing to a 14. I don't think he hit a green the whole day. But the ground there is so firm that if you're 30 yards off the green, you can putt. And this guy was literally putting from 30 yards off the green, putting it to 1 inch. Like, it was insane. It was driving me nuts. Because I'm like, I'm like, I've hit 2 good shots, and this guy's nestled in there 2 inches from 30 yards off the green with a putter. But it's one of those things where you can be really creative there because of the way here's what's fascinating about the place too. I was there 2 years ago, and the rule there is if you pay your fee, there's no rain check, there's no discount. If it rains, you're out of luck. And they let you know that in the clubhouse. So we went in the clubhouse and we had a 2:00 tee time. And the guy said, we're expecting lightning around 6. So I'm just letting you know that if you have to come off the course, you're eating your money. So I said, it is what it is. So we started playing, and lo and behold, within an hour, the skies opened up in a storm that you would not believe. Like, by the time we teed off on 5, and by the time we got to the 5th green, there was 6 or 7 inches of water on the green.
Wow.
In a normal situation, you'd say, this round is over. I can go home. They're never going to get this thing dry. Well, we waited under an awning for maybe 45 minutes. The rain stopped. Within 10 minutes of the rain stop, the greens were completely dry and they were fast as hell because the whole facility is built on sand. And so it drains incredibly fast. And in fact, I was told that Pinehurst #2 is the backup course for every U.S. Open in case there's some natural disaster, in case something happens on the scheduled course. They can get Pinehurst #2 ready in tournament conditions in 1 week.
Wow.
Because you don't really, it's just everything's tight lies. It's not like it's heavy growth of the grass, which of course makes chipping a little tougher in a lot of cases, especially if you have a tight lie on uphill and what have you. But they can get that ready right away, and that's part of the rain comes and you just wait it out and you'll be back on the course. So definitely it was amazing to see, because you would think you need a snorkel to yeah.
I know you stayed at your buddy's place, so that's a bonus for you. But if you were going to stay at the resort and you factor in the caddy fee and or tip and the green fees, what are you looking at to play those 4 courses? So you're looking at like 4 nights at least, 5 days, 4 nights.
Yeah, you're looking at 5 days, 4 nights. When you're at those facilities, you get a discounted rate on the golf, but you're talking about. I think the cost on the rounds, again, I wasn't staying at the place. It was about $400, $450 for the rounds. I think 4 or 8 was a little cheaper. 10 was a little more expensive, but it's not. It's a special experience, and you should at least save enough to do it once.
Plus the caddies.
Yeah, caddies. There's a caddy fee. And then they suggest $100 a bag. One of the guys I had was fantastic. I gave him $150. Another guy was good. I gave him a little less, but not, it wasn't as good. You want to be generous with those guys, obviously. They really try their best. And then most of them are doing 2 bags twice a day. It's a lot of work and gets really hot there in the summer. I mean, the humidity, as you know, Burke, you're from North Carolina. It takes a toll on you.
Yeah. So in terms of like all the guys, Tony, you've known these guys for a long time. So you were living with 4 guys at your buddy's house. So did you guys get to kind of mingle at the bar or go out for dinners, and any drama? Like any guys that are just like, you're just like, oh my God, this guy is like freaking high maintenance.
We're the older set, so nobody's out there getting blistered, drunk, and can't show up to his tea time or whatever. It's a little more mellow, but the guy who puts it together, kudos to him. He does a remarkable job of organizing this thing. And, he's had situations where guys are dropping out a week before and has to find a replacement. And it's a lot of work, but he made reservations every night. We all went out together to dinner. They'd go back to his house and have drinks and watch the hockey games and stuff like that. So, in fact, the mayor, who was an acquaintance of all of us, stopped by the house one day and mingled with us a little bit. He's a good guy. It's not like a bunch of 20-year-olds going out and getting blistered.
Well, Tony, I've known you for so many years, and when I call you or text you at 7 o'clock, I already know you're already shut down. So I know 9 o'clock. You're past your bedtime. So what time were you getting to bed, and what time do you have to get up to get to the tea time?
So here's the good news and bad news. The good news is that coming from California on that trip, 10 o'clock at night is 7 o'clock in the evening. I'm not used to it. True. I could stay up till midnight. The problem was I couldn't sleep for the first 2 nights because my clock was just off. I'm taking the Tylenol PMs at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to fall asleep. But by the 3rd day, I'd acclimated and it was all good.
Well, that's good.
So you said it's a small town. So are there a lot of places to go out to?
There's some good restaurants in the area. It was one of them. They just opened up. I think it was called Beehawk, and one of the guys who was on the special forces from the Black Hawk Down raid that the movie was about, he opened up a restaurant there, and it's more of a distillery than it doesn't have a huge menu, but he just opened up a restaurant there. There's a really good Italian place, a surprisingly good sushi place, and there's another sort of barbecue style joint that's a big brewery type thing. So there's definitely places to find that's really good to eat. Just plan ahead, make sure you get your reservations, especially, the economy there is just golf. And so, you're going to have, those places are going to fill up for dinner really quick, and there aren't that many.
You just came back. Have you always gone at this time of year, or you guys gone at different times of years? What would you recommend in terms
I've gone one time with my son in June. It might have been July, but this trip has been the last week of April or the first week of May since I've been going. And it's one of these things where you come home and you can't wait to go again next year. It's like, start saving your pennies, and I can't wait to go again next year. And I'll practice all year to try to have a round like I did on number 2 again. It doesn't come often, but it was great.
Nice. Where do you fly into Pinehurst?
We fly to Raleigh, and it's about an hour and 10-minute drive.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, no, and there's from LA there's direct flights on American and Alaska, and so it was really convenient. It's really easy to get to.
And you obviously have the hookup there with your buddy who's a member, but for regular folks, is it easy to get tee times and reservations? You got to do it years in advance, like Bendon?
No, Pinehurst was not that bad. I think having the 11 courses or 10 now really helps, and even the members can't book tee times more than 30 days. I think they can only do it 30 days. So if you're staying at the Holly or the resort or the Magnolia Inn, if you're staying there, you should be able to get times as long as you plan ahead.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I like it, and the fact that you can get times there for the most part, that's super appealing, actually.
I can't speak highly enough about it. It's just, even if you just go once, it's just, like I said, when you're playing number 2 and you come to the 18th hole and you're walking up there's a bunker on the right. And 2 years ago, they added a plaque, and that plaque was for Bryson DeChambeau, where he hit that shot against Rory. And the funniest thing is, behind the green is the veranda there's a couple bars and restaurants. And when you're playing, especially in the late, and you're coming in at 4 and 5 in the afternoon, there's 100 dudes there drinking beers, and they're all watching, and they are all watching. And so,
no way.
So last year, I hit my second shot. It went off the green, and I had a chip. I couldn't putt it. I had to chip it, and literally, there's 100 people watching, and I'm just saying, don't scull it. Don't scull it.
Yeah.
Don't scull it. And I hit a really good shot, and it almost went in the hole. And all of a sudden, I hear a round of applause from people and stuff. And
so you really do get the pro experience there.
You do get a little bit of the pro experience for sure. There's a couple of videos online where guys have hit it into the veranda, and they're chipping from the bricks. It's hilarious, and everyone's cheering and drinking and betting whether he makes it on the green.
Now, what course is that?
That's Pinehurst number 2.
Pinehurst number 2, and that's on 17 or 18?
18.
18, okay. I want to check that out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you should definitely look for those videos. They're hilarious. I can't imagine hitting a shot like that, but whatever. I guess if you have enough beers, you're ready to do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, we have I think I'm going to have a lot of the answers, but just to get anyways, we ask for a 6 score. We've got a framework that we go by. So in terms of the courses, and now you could rate this on a relative basis since you've gone to a lot of other courses as well, but where would you rank the group of courses on a scale of 1 to 10?
I've been lucky enough. Like, do you mean on the property, or do you mean like in terms of the whole resort area and the experience?
I just say like the golf course experience.
Yeah.
I've
been lucky. I've gone to Scotland a couple times, which is obviously the pinnacle when it comes to golf. I've been to Bandon, St. George, Vegas. I've done some trips. I've actually was lucky enough to do a session in 2000 on Aronimink, Marion, and Pine Valley, which is they're holding the U.S. Open and the PGA on Aronimink and Pine Valley. I mean, on Aronimink and Marion this year. I've just got to say, for the whole experience with the history of the game, Pinehurst it's with Pebble Beach. To me, it's 1 and 2. You can't compare Scotland because it's just different. It's literally just the best golf experience you'll ever have, but it's not like a resort. Even if you go to St. Andrews, there's a hotel there and stuff, but you can bounce around to different towns and see different, a vast array of different courses and stuff. But in terms of a condensed area to play, put Pinehurst on the top of your list along with Pebble and Bandon.
And in terms of like a format, again, just drawing on your experience, having gone on all these types of trips, what's the best format do you find for multi-day trips?
Oh yeah, to me it's individual. It's just individual, and then maybe have a bunch of matches you can divide it into. It's the individual matches, but also on a team environment. So like what we would do is we'd split 6 guys on one team, 6 on another, and then we'd do individual matches or a low gross with 2-man. Anything to keep that competitiveness, and you want to make sure every shot counts, right? If you're in a team environment and your buddy's on your team, you're trying to shoot a better score than he is just to help the team. And so those are the 2 things for sure. The alternate shot stuff, like you said, you travel all that distance, you pay all that money. I want to play a full round.
Burke, the one thing that I found funny and how I've learned in this podcast experience is how people form the team. So you had the fannies versus the non-fannies. We've heard skinny versus fat. We've heard Jews versus non-Jews.
That's funny. For sure.
Crazy. That's so funny. It is so funny, Kate.
And you want to have some personalities. Obviously, like you guys would be hilarious on a trip like that. And maybe we should plan something one day and go out and try it.
Yeah, I was going to say that we have a post FOMO score. And I was like, yeah, I want on this waiting list here for this.
Yeah.
Be a first alternate.
Yeah, I'll take it.
For the scoring, we have a run it back mod, which we have annual lock, rotational classic, one and done, rebuild and run, lightning in a bottle. But this is clearly an annual lock for you guys.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you said you look forward to it every year.
And the good news is my friend who has the membership is actually moving there full time. So he's not going anywhere. So knock on wood. We'll have this opportunity for years to come.
So Burke, where does it sit on your FOMO score?
At the very beginning, when Tony started talking, and he sent me pictures, and there was no carts, I was kind of like, I wasn't really feeling it, right? I wasn't feeling it. Now, you guys know that I'm not good with the heat, the humidity. That is what's going to make it a great day for me or a bad day. If we're starting at 7 a.m, and like one of our guests said, you could deal with the heat till about a 105, and then when you get more than 105, it starts to get it's not good. So I would have a problem if I was golfing in the humidity. The last time I golfed was in North Carolina. I made it to the 4th hole, and I quit because my gloves were soaking wet. I was miserable. The little gnats were coming up on me, and I was like, I'm out. So that would be my problem. I guess it would have to be the time of year that we're going. So I'm not going to be miserable. So I'd have to say,
I think that if you're going July and August, you are going to deal with thunderstorms. And we did have rain on one day, and remarkably, it was pretty steady, but it never killed the round. It wasn't hard enough where it killed the round. It didn't really impact play at all. And so we did have one day of bad rain, and it was pretty chilly, to be honest with you. For May in North Carolina, it was pretty chilly. But the time I went in July with the thunderstorm and we're stuck under the awning, it's humid. It's really humid. And when the caddies are telling us that, people are literally collapsing from heat stroke on that number 10 course, if heat's a thing, that's not the course for you.
That would be my issue too. Because of this nostalgia and all that stuff and walking with the caddy, I'm going to give it a 6-7.
6-7, huh?
6'7".
For me, I almost give this 9.5, if not a 10. I think this is
Wow, look at
right up
you.
there with Bandon to me. I love the
All right.
resort experience of the golf, the variety of the courses, the weather. As long as you don't go in the super humid time frame, like you don't have to deal with the winds and the rain possibilities.
When we went to Bandon, we struggled to find a place to eat. Now, it was before COVID or whatever, but it wasn't like, the town was a little bit a ways and you'd have to take an Uber and all that stuff. And there weren't that many places to eat, at least when we went. Now, this was 6 years ago. So,
Yeah, I don't know, but they may have built out more things because of how popular it is.
Right.
But this sounds phenomenal to me. The only thing I guess that it would be is the price, right? You gotta have to save up for this this trip. But
I save
sounds
all
like an
year
epic
and I look
experience.
forward to every year. Between
Yeah.
the flights and the rent-a-car and the caddies and the fees and the hotels and stuff, it's a pretty penny. But
Yeah.
it's, to me, as in terms of, if you go to Pebble for two people, you're talking about $8,000 for 3 rounds.
Yeah. No, what you've been saying, trying to do some math in the head, it sounds like about 5-6 grand all in for those days.
Yeah, if you get, and you probably get 5 rounds in.
Very cool. You provided a great outline, and like I said, I have a lot of FOMO. I want to get there. It's definitely on the golf bucket list for sure.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to download you, and hope I'll have a couple more experiences to share. Maybe we can share something together.
That would be
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Tony, for joining.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, what another great show we had today with the sick golf trips and my good friend, Tony Rudy. Man, you gave us a lot of great insight. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to our sponsor today. Unbelievable. And remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and make sure you tune in next time for sick golf trips. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. All right. Take care.